Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This can be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below. And I'd be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. So it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. As you see, I have the divination board out today, but before we begin, we're going to do a one question, one answer, 2 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to hold for 3 seconds, okay? So let's breathe in, release, breathe in, release. Okay, I'll give you a second to think of the question that you would like to ask Spirit. And we will begin the pendulum. Okay. Right away, collective, the consistency that I have is January, Aquarius, ABC, Monday, Thursday, RST, Leo, and August. Once again, the consistency that I have is January, Aquarius, ABC, Monday, Thursday, RST, Leo, and August. Okay? So take that into account to whatever question that you asked. Only you know your question. Okay, let's tap into the tarot here. The message that I have for you today, collective, is warrior spirit. There's a need to have a warrior spirit. This doesn't mean that something negative or bad is going to happen to you, but there's a need for you to have a warrior spirit, meaning to be strong, to be innovative, also to tap into, if need be, you tap into any moments that you have been successful in your life, that you have achieved a goal, moments of happiness. Okay. Spirit is saying they want you to have that warrior spirit. Your ancestors are saying it's time to have that warrior spirit. This is not a message conveying that there is something terrible that is going to happen, but there's a need for someone to, you're having some kind of favor in your life, some kind of shift, some kind of change. And so as you progress forward, there's a need for you to have a warrior spirit. This doesn't mean you have to be paranoid. This doesn't mean you have to be confrontational. This doesn't mean you have to have some kind of anxiety towards whether or not you can trust people. This just simply means for you to, if need be, work on your confidence. Make sure that you are interacting with people, places, and things that are of upliftment. There's some kind of good fortune or opportunity or progress in your life at any rate, any level, any area, that may cause, you to be under some kind of observation. This could be you being in the limelight. This could be you becoming world renowned, hood renowned, community renowned. You could be very popular. You could be starting a business or a brand, or you could have a side hustle that's going to expand for you in some kind of way. But they're saying there's a need for you to have that warrior spirit. And they're having me repeat it because there's a portion of people that has been under some kind of, either that you feel you're being attacked, or you can feel your haters pulling on your energy. And they're saying that no weapon formed against you will ever prosper, just as long as you do not lower your frequency, or feed into the fears, or feed into the craving of a hater, which is usually they want attention, they're insecure, they could be jealous or envious. The success that you have coming in is going to cause people some kind of resentment because they're not able to be part of the success that you're having. But Spirit is saying it's not meant for them to be part of it. So it's not about, and this is the message. It's not about, uh, you know, uh, maybe they did something to you, so they no longer have access to you. No, it's about on this timeline, in this moment in your life, these people that you no longer interact with, or you chose to cut off for any reason, family, friend, doesn't matter who they are. Their time has expired. So when something has expired, we're likely to get rid of it. If the milk gets old in the fridge, we're likely to get rid of it. If anything gets old in our home, we're likely to get rid of it. And so Spirit is saying it's nothing less or more than that. But for you to have that warrior spirit, meaning they want you to stand in your confidence and do not allow situations and people to make you waver in you believing in yourself, and you knowing, not feeling, but knowing that any rooms that you are invited into, any access that you are given, any opportunity that you are given, it is divinely created. So it is from source, it is from the divine. And see, the fun fact about a hater is you need not to worry about anyone trying to slander your character, anyone trying to maybe attack you because they're jealous because they can't be part of your world, or they, you're just not giving them access to you. You need not to worry about that, because when they choose to attack you, they are attacking the divine. And what we put out comes back to us tenfold. It just does. So if something is divinely created and written in the stars for you, it's part of your purpose, and Spirit and Source is working with you strategically with people, places, and, opportunity to pass your path so that you can have these experiences in your life, or your dreams and hopes and wishes and aspirations and things you've been manifesting. Your spirit team, the divine, is working with you. So if they are working with you, and these people of the past may be trying to poke and pry at your energy, they want you to look at it like a leaf in the wind. Like on a fall day, you know how leaves fall off the trees, and on a windy day, and I love fall season, but on a windy day, you'll see a leaf like tumble down the street, or tumble, or do a helicopter move or whatever in the air. It's just a leaf. It's nothing to be concerned about. So they want you to grow accustomed to when you recognize that someone does not resonate with you. They're trying to attack you, provoke you, or do anything malicious or negative. And especially when it's people who you don't deal with, whether you know them personally or not, just ignore them, just disregard them. They're saying that things are being taken care of in spaces and places. Whenever you feel you are under attack, whenever you feel someone is okay, they're saying you're so protected, collective. It's getting to where things are being arranged to when people even speak your name, immediately they will pay for that. So, okay, I'll leave that right there. Okay, let's tap into the tarot. So they want you not to worry about these things, these naysayers, these haters, people that don't resonate with you, childish people, toxic people, troublemakers, just haters. That's all they are. And they want you to stay encouraged, collective. They're saying it's part of the progress. It's part of the progress and the process. They're saying, okay. And also, it's your confirmation. The fact that someone wants to give you their individual attention and have you on their mind, in their hearts. Some of these people can even be dreaming about you because they have some kind of fixation on you. And the fixation is because they're holding resentment about how possibly they could have mistreated you in the past. I'm picking up on some ex-lovers, male or female, whom you probably didn't get along with, or you chose to go your separate ways. But this person is in reflection about the relationship, and they know that they done some things that just wasn't fair to you. But they never thought that you would be that person that would make them feel like, wow, that's a good catch, and that's a person that got away. Okay. So these people have nothing new to say. And so with the Page of Pentacles that you see, the stance here, they're saying for you to rest assured that all is well. And also keep in mind that these experiences is just to make you stronger. It's nothing to even respond to. So they want you to get to the point to like a leaf in the wind. Any uh, trying to slander your character or promote or provoke any kind of toxic behavior. This could be trolling your social media account. This could be gossip. This could be slander at work, in the community, lies told on you, people popping up who don't have access to you, bringing up things from 10, 20 years ago. They see you have moved on and they're just jealous. It's coming out very strong. There's a lot of jealousy and envy. And I'm picking up you're at the peak. You're at the peak of rising. You're in the midst of it. You're not at the beginning, but you're at the peak, and people know it. There's something about people know that there's a lot of prosperity that you are getting ready to experience. There are people pocket watching you as well. But everything is happening according to the divine's plan. Everything is where it needs to be, collective, according to previous actions that have been taken. So you owe no one anything. You don't have to have survivor's remorse. You do not have to allow people in your life who have that entitlement energy where they feel entitled. I did this for you 5 years ago, or I'm your mother, I'm your father kind of energy. You don't have to tolerate that, and feel free to say no, and also feel free to just not communicate. They want you to get to the point where you're not communicating with these people and just ignore them. It's like dust your shoulders off. These haters are a leaf in the wind. These haters are a leaf in the wind. So there's no need to even be focused on them. Their confirmation of your success, because they're willing to give you their attention. They're willing, as precious as life is, they're willing to give you their time. Time is your currency here on planet Earth. And we all know that to be very precious and very valuable. So they want you to look at it that way. Okay. And so the next card we have here is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is someone who's very comfortable, very down to earth, very confident, and has a lot of material wealth. And it's coming through very strong. If not now, and for a lot of you, I'm just going to say you're very financially comfortable now, but it's going to increase for you moving forward. And so I'm talking to people who are working on themselves, who are working on their passion projects, who are working on that hobby, who is building that business. It's different for everyone watching, but I'm talking to a group of people. You know who you are. You're doing the work. You're seeing the increase. And even if you feel things are slow, that's another thing. That's part of the process and the journey. Things will be slow sometimes. Things will be fast. A good example, I always share, you can ask any entrepreneur, they'll tell you, especially in sales or your neighborhood store or any retail store, and they'll tell you there are times where they make a lot of money, that the sales are popping, and there's days that they open their stores and nothing sells at all. But that owner continues to show up for themselves. They continue to show up for their brand, for their business, for their establishment. So basically, with that being said, Spirit is saying for you to always continue to show up for you. No one's going to want you more successful and happy than you. And so don't expect that. No one's going to want you more happier than you. Everything is within you. Your encouragement, your confidence, your bright ideas, your tenacity, the strength to be persistent in your endeavors. Do not allow the small things, as a demeanor on her face, which I love, relaxation, peace in nature, and seriously, there's nothing to be angry or upset about. You guys have a lot to celebrate. The people I'm talking to, and you could be so happy right now that you are keeping it to yourself because you are aware of the haters. Okay. And I'm not talking about the Christmas holiday. I'm talking about You've been working on yourself. You've been working, on your job, on that passion project. You're on your way to getting the promotions, the raises, the relationship you want, the success you want. Anything you're building and creating. You could be someone who's returned to school to further your education. That side hobby is expanding. Your clientele is increasing. People is hearing your name, and it's creating some form of cash flow for you. It's creating the monetary pursuit. The money is pursuing you. It's going to get to the point you don't have to pursue it. It's pursuing you. You're being magnetized. You're magnetizing the right energy into your world. So for you to be in this frequency, for you to be in this vibration, this is the energy of someone who is doing the work, and it's evident. This isn't pretending. This isn't fake. This isn't me just orchestrating a story to get clicks and likes. This is the channel message, okay? For you to have that warrior spirit. Do not waver. Do not feel confused or allow anyone to make you feel that you're not enough or you don't belong in a room, or give you those, I call them small seeds of doubt. Oh, I can't believe you're gonna do that with the economy like this. Oh yeah, how you gonna do that? I don't see how. You're not supposed to see how, because it's for me and the divine. What I do is for me. You tell them God hire me, who gonna fire me? It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And so they want you to just like, they're a leaf in the wind. There's nothing they can do about it. And these people know that. Their time is up. And be careful with forcing someone to be on your timeline, or you're forcing someone to experience some kind of success with you, because you don't want all that you have worked for and been manifesting to dismantle, because you're showing the universe that you have not learned the lesson, and you're choosing to go back to a karmic and repeat. This could be a romantic a relationship, a family member, a friend, whomever. You have to leave those old cycles, close out, leave those doors closed, keep that detachment permanent. There's no reason to look back when you're awaiting and you know that new energy is arriving in your life, or being prepared to arrive in your life. And so every time we stop and we choose to go back to that old thing, we put a pause on the newness, the opportunity that has been orchestrated, for us. When spirit or the divine wants to put someone new in your life, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an opportunity, or just another kind spirit or soul to enjoy or experience life with, or business partnership. This could be in many areas. You push that opportunity away. So you want to be very careful with that. So it's time to have that warrior spirit, collective. Remember, your haters are a leaf in the wind, and they know they are a leaf in the wind. They know their time is over and up. They know they will not be able to experience this new life with you, and it doesn't matter what they know about you from the past. This is a whole new you. This is a whole new timeline. They don't even know you. They know the old you. Each and every day, we're supposed to be progressing and doing something different. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to elevate. You're supposed to do something different. It will be quite foolish to think and have in theory that you can spend each and every day of your God-given life doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It just doesn't make sense, and I'm pretty sure it damn sure won't bring no dollars. It just wouldn't, to do the same thing repetitively, to never ever leave that unhealthy relationship, to never ever leave that unhealthy friendship, or that job that you don't like, that you show up and you're always spazzing out because you don't like it. If you choose not to change your circumstances, that is a personal thing. But one thing you can do is be angry with other people because they choose to move forward, because a person desires to do more. And so that's what, these leaf in the wind folks, that's what's going on. They have made a choice, because we have free will. No one can tell you how to live your life. No one can tell you what you're comfortable with. Only you know, you know. So they've made a choice. They've made a choice to get up and do the same thing. And evidently there was a point in your life, doesn't matter what your age is, that you said, hey, you know what? I'm about to do something different. I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to not give up on myself, you know. Maybe I'm going to start, working on my sobriety, Maybe I'm going to start losing some weight. Maybe I'm going to write that book. You know what? Maybe I'm going to get that application and apply for that job over there. I always wanted to work for that company, Maybe I'm going to start reading, reading more, excuse me. Maybe I'm going to start reading more. You know what? Maybe I'm going to start meditating more. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna stop judging other people so much and putting people down. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna just work on my confidence. That kind of energy. So we have free will, and so it looks like no matter how old you are, they're telling me to repeat that you woke up one day at some point in your life and you said, I desire change, and you started working towards that. That's what this reading is clearly saying. You said to yourself, I desire change. hmm And you started working towards that. And so you walked away, no matter how turbulent it was, no matter how much this boat began to rock and the wind was blowing and the leaves in the wind were angry, the haters and naysayers, and they was, oh, the collective lead, they're talking about they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Yeah, they are going to do that. But they're getting away from you. They're walking away from what no longer serves them, okay? And so, and even if you are someone like this person has luggage, there's a suitcase in her hand. Maybe you are someone who had to turn away and leave a residence with only a bag of clothes and hope in your heart and a bag of clothes. Maybe you were homeless, at a point, and had nothing, but you held on to your faith and you trusted and knew that there was more. And because of your faith and because of the work that you have put in, I'm picking up a lot of work. It's starting to pay off for you. So remember to have that warrior spirit. And remember, when these infantile people arrive in your life, whether it's on social media, in person, in your family, at work, the cashier at the store you shop at, anyone that is being, rude, disrespectful, trying to attack your character. Basically, the haters are really people who want to have a ripple effect in your life. You know how you throw a pellet in the water and you get the little, the little ring sensation, but the fun fact is you cannot have a ripple effect in somebody's life and you have no access. You're not wanted, you have no access, and you never will be wanted. So it's really, like I said, when a person gives you time and space in their mind and their hearts, and they're always focused on you, they have a fixation on you, it becomes really kind of, it's like an obsession or diabolical, or someone that has a personality disorder. It's something going on. That's someone who's mentally disheveled, and it's that's a them problem. Okay, that they are so fixated on people outside of them that they're unable to get to this point here. They know nothing about this. This is unfamiliar. So this is the reason why Spirit is stressing through this read, as I repeat what I'm saying, for you to have that warrior spirit. Stay the course, stay centered. There's no need to let anyone get you into any shouting, screaming matches, any confrontational moments. All those things is, let it go, let it flow. The vibration that you are on, the frequency you're on, and where you are at in your life now, you're beyond that. You're beyond the childish, immature behavior. Um, you're just beyond it. And it's just not worth it. Really entertaining anyone that is not of your caliber. You have nothing in common with these people. When you see something foolish, collective spirit is saying, look at it like it's a science project. Turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, and then go into your think pose. And let it be. Leave it where it is. Leave it where it is. Focus on love, loving yourself, loving those who love you in return wholeheartedly with pure intentions, and you know, give yourself nothing less than the best. Love of thyself and love of those who are supporting, who are around you. You need not to give your attention. It will be there. And it comes up a lot in the readings about these haters and jealous people. And it's not fake, collective, it's real. You got a lot of people, they think because They feel like if they don't say it out their mouth verbally, this is really how people think, and it's hilarious. Oh, it's not. Don't nobody know because I didn't say it with my lips. Don't nobody know I'm thinking that. No, 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 no. It's still being accounted for. That's why you have to be mindful of your words and your thoughts towards yourself and other people. What you put out comes back. And even if you haven't said it with your lips, it is still accounted for on many levels. And you will still receive the impact of those negative thoughts. You will still receive the impact of trying to plot, plan, and strategize against others. You will receive the impact of hoping for someone's downfall. You will receive that. You'll be out handling your business and you'll be wondering, why things ain't going right for me. It's your deeds. It's your mindset. It's your heart. It's who you are. What have you been up to? What have you been projecting? About others outside of you. Are you holding that iniquity? Are you upset to watch or observe progress? Even if you don't applaud someone, does it upset you and make you angry? Or does it encourage you? Because we're supposed to, whether we know a person or not, witness enlightenment and progress and be motivated to go expand in our own personal life in our own personal, unique way. But the reciprocal occurs, okay? The reciprocal occurs. So make sure that you continue with the Four of Wands, stand in the energy of being grateful and thankful. Let no one take the smile and the happiness off your face or out of your heart. Do not allow the ways of the world to change who you are. There are happy people and there are sad people. And how other people feel and what they're experiencing is none of your business. And really, what they think about you is none of your business. It takes too much. It takes too much of your energy, collective, to be so focused on what they think. Let people think what they want and don't defend it. Spirit is also saying we have to get to a point where if you hear someone saying something about you, because oftentimes defending yourself or trying to leads to nothing. Let it ride, let it be. Let the liar run with it because the truth will always reveal a lie and a lie will reveal the truth, vice versa. Nature takes care of its own. Speaking of the leaves in the wind, nature takes care of its own. We have been in observance of this repeatedly for many years. And so you need to have that warrior spirit and trust and know that nature will always take care of its own. There's no need to go back and forth. There's no need of crashing out on nobody. All the foolishness. There's no need of crashing out on nobody. There's no need of even responding. Uh, Let the person, if you feel they're lying on you or someone made something up on you, let it be. Let it be. We're all being, watched and monitored spiritually speaking, and everything and we do, our deeds are being accounted for. And the divine knows, spirit knows, nature will take care of its own. There's no need to get into a ping pong conversation because you're not going to hear each other. And that person has already convinced themselves that they are not going to hear you out anyway. So let it be. Let people run with the lies. Let people, that kind of energy. Maybe you're someone, when you walk in a room, maybe you see people huddling or the room goes silent. That's just your energy. That's just your aura. The more you work on progressing collective in any kind of way, whether it's your spirituality, whether it's your confidence, whether it's you just changing your mind, your perception about life, whatever you're doing, it could be many things. Maybe you clean your house up more. Maybe you say, what, I'm gonna mop a little bit more, or I'm gonna pour the trash a little bit more. I'm gonna increase my laundry. This could be anything. You will notice things because that's progress as well. It is. You will notice a shift in your life and in your relationships, and that is supposed to happen. And also, if you have friends or associates whom you feel starts to change up on you and you feel that they're acting some kind of way, feel free to allow these people to surrender themselves. Do not go trying to fix every situation. There are times where spirit will remove people, your ancestors as well, will remove people from your life for a reason. And sometimes it's just simply time for them to move on. Don't forget, everyone has a divine purpose. They have their own life to live. Everybody has their own pot of gumbo to tend to. So if a person starts to be MIA, or they're no longer communicating, or they're not pulling up, okay, don't pull up to nobody's house. It ain't pulling up to yours. Let it be. Let that person move forward gracefully. That means oftentimes that their time is up, and you don't want to force. You don't want to like, I want you here, you're gonna be here. No, let them be. Okay, let them be. But it's time to have that warrior spirit with the magician here. Continue to work your magic. Continue to stay confident. Spirit is basically saying with the warrior spirit, stay confident in all the people or things you encounter that you consider to be a nuisance or nerve-wracking or you don't like. They are just a leaf in the wind. Okay, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Okay, so don't give too much frustration and aggravation. And the little bird is trying to get his attention in here, like, hey, you're all in your head. You're all in your head. And his higher self is like, hey, I'm over here. Get out of your head. Remember, we're working on progress. We're elevating. We're doing new stuff. We're doing new-ish. It's a new day, a new vibe. Okay? In the words of Nina Simone, and we're feeling good. Okay? So continue to be the magical, beautiful, prosperous person that you are. But there is some good fortune. I'm not getting a specific date and time, but there's some good fortune and opportunity in many ways that is coming for a lot of people. And and some of you can feel this. You can feel this energy. You're preparing you to arrive in your life. Okay, it's in the air. You can't put your finger on it. It's not a negative feeling. It's a good feeling, and it's in the air. And you're going to ruffle some feathers. That's just what it is. You can't be a care bear. You're going to piss some people off. You cannot be a care bear and be overly concerned. It's a new day. You have a new viewpoint of life. Look how high. He's not sitting in here taming those horses. He's on top. He has a whole nother perception of life and experiences and how he is going to move forward. And so do you, collective. And so if you have a whole new perception of life, it does not make sense to stay in the same environment. It does not make sense to keep the same connections, because when you're working on going forward and you stay in an environment of people who love stagnicity, they love comfort, they're not interested in progressing. They're either going to talk you out of it, tell you why you shouldn't be doing it, accuse you of being arrogant, or number 4, you'll find yourself apologizing for being yourself or dimming your light. You'll find yourself in constant friction trying to exist around old energy with a new mindset. And often that doesn't work out well. You have to move along. This is like the stories where you hear people want to go back to the hood, and they go back to the hood, and we've heard, in history, things happening and occurring because somebody wanted to show that and prove that they're still down with the neighborhood they was raised in. Well, it's okay to give donations. It's okay to help people. But let me tell you something. Desperate people do desperate things. And no matter how kind and nice you are, if you're someone at another status, millionaire status, celebrity or whatever, and you're showing up to a impoverished neighborhood or people who don't have what you have, it's nice that you want to give back. But I believe that should be done in a different way. But it's just not safe. And it's not about being in fear. It's about being intelligent enough to be smarter than that. You're showing up to the hood to prove what? There are people who have lost their lives and been unalived, who have, been exited up out of here, deleted for doing such things. So I believe it's okay to give back. Not believe, I know it's okay to give back, but there's a different way to do that. You can send somebody else to pass out them turkeys and tell them, all right, look, you better videotape that you gave this food to them people, but it's not always a good idea to sacrifice and risk your well-being because you want to prove to somebody that you're still down. Or I ain't forgot about your dog. You can do all the giving that you want. People will have their own mindset about you, their own thoughts about you. When you turn your back, it'll be like you never came and gave anything. So, yeah. So it makes no sense to progress forward, but you're constantly reaching back in the wrong way. So be careful of that. When this opportunity arrives in your life and you're trying to hang on, you're trying to stay in the chain gang of these people who are interested in what you're talking about. You know, you got to get up in the morning and maybe go open your boutique or your storefront, and maybe they want to stay up to 3 4 in the morning. They don't know about no sleep schedule. You may have started a gym routine. Maybe you work out 3 4 days a week, or you go walking or running. They not thinking about getting up in those 6 in the morning, no 5 in the morning. You talk about working out around them people that, oh, you uppity now. What you mean working out? I ain't about to do that. I'm about to turn up. I'm just, these are examples. So it's quite difficult to work on progress and being successful. And that's a good example of trying to force people who don't belong, meaning their timeline has expired and you want to force them. And that's when you have problems and situations arise. Like I was speaking of, people have been deleted, trying to reach back and show up and pull up into the hood and, let me show you my ride. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. Them people don't have that. How you think they feel you coming and going? Now, there may be some who have respect for you, but sooner or later, you keep coming back and forth trying to prove you down for the hood. Somebody who feel they have nothing to live for, you get what I'm saying? I had a wrong thing on their mind, so you got to learn how to separate and move forward and be ready for the next level. Reaching back, you got to be strategic if you want to reach back. You don't always have to have your face in a place. Send somebody else to do that. Send somebody else to do that. And that's for your safety and your well-being. Somebody really need to hear that, because they will not let me get off of it. When I repeat it and Spirit don't let me get off of it, it's because they want somebody to hear it. That means somebody's going to click on that needs to hear that. Be careful. It's not about proving, oh, I ain't scared. It ain't about that. It's about having longevity in life and enjoying your life, and being present for your children, your family, and just enjoying the bliss, enjoying what you work for, what you build, what you created. You don't put yourself on a platter like, here, I'm a sacrifice. Here I go. Here I am. Open sesame. You don't just put yourself on a platter like that, with a stick of butter on the side. Like, here I am, wide open. No, 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 no. The point that really needs to be proven, I haven't seen it, maybe I will one day, is somebody actually moving forward and not looking back. Moving forward and not looking back. I'm waiting to see that one. But yeah, you're in the energy of waiting for your ships to come in. Now, this doesn't mean that you're hyper focused on it, but you trust and know because of all the work that you have done. You have earned your right. This isn't something that's being given to the collective where it's just dropping into their lap. This is something that they have worked for and earned. They have got up and made the choice each and every day of what they're going to give their attention to. And so whatever choices you have made, collective, basically this is just your return. This is just a return. It's an investment. You've been working on self-investment, and it's time to reap your profit. With the King of Cups here, the King of Cups is love, balance, and being creative as well. And as I was speaking of earlier, there are some people with creative projects that's going to expand for them. Now, you may be working a 9 to 5, and you may say, well, I hustle and I work. Well, your hustle may end up paying you more than your job pay you. That doesn't mean for you to quit. You do what you want. You have free will. But you may look up one day and say, whoa, the hustle paying me more than the job paying me. All right, all right, all right. Let me stack my money. Okay. It's going to get like that. I'm picking that up. It's going to expand for you. But there are some things and changes that you have to make. There are some people you got to move different that just can't be around you. There are some conversations you can't have around everybody. There are some places that you can't take everybody. You have to have boundaries. You have to have some limits that you set. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's some conversations that certain people just don't need to hear. You don't need sticky fingers around you. You don't need people who, licking their chops because they don't want to work for it, they rather take it. You don't need to be bothered with that. And then you also want to be mindful of dragging people around with you who have a lot of things going on behind the scene. You don't want to get entangled up in somebody's mess. That's coming up. You don't want to be entangled, collective, in somebody else's mess. This could be a family member, a cousin, a sibling, a friend. You never know what people are into. Once you turn your back, nobody knows what nobody is into, what they're dealing with, what their life is with, what they entangle with, what they do in their spare time. And you don't want to have somebody, oh, that's just so and so. They just hanging with me. And, they could have beef or have some kind of situation going on and you get entangled in it because this person is seen with you all the time. This person is seen with you all the time. And then there's a misunderstanding. Folks think you part of something. You like, I'm just hanging out with her. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Don't matter. Guilty by association kind of energy. Yeah. Make sure, there's reciprocity. Make sure that you are allowing the new energy also to enter your life. People who feel that their life is worth living, people who feel they have a lot to lose. Be mindful of dealing with people who feel they have nothing to lose, because desperate people do desperate things. And folks will sabotage. Don't have these people on your timeline or call yourself trying to prove that you're still cool or you down with them. And they end up sabotaging what you've worked for, what you build, what you're creating, because they could be, like I said, you don't know what someone is involved in. Okay. And with the Five of Wands, there could be someone who wants to compete with you. This could be a relative. I'm picking up like family energy, a sibling, a cousin, this could also be a parent who wants to compete with their child. You're no longer dealing with this person or these people. And when you were around, they wanted to often compete with you. I'm even picking up a parental figure. It happens. They wanted to compete with you. There could have been a lot of envy and jealousy going on, and you were unaware. Maybe they treated you some kind of way. They felt that you were competitive, and you're not a competitive person. But because you are someone who enjoys learning, I'm also picking up you're someone who's always, regardless of what hand you was dealt in life, you've always fought to land on your feet. You always fought to remain optimistic. And that's why you're here in this moment at this time. And so this is your season of success. Continue to have that warrior spirit. Don't let nobody trick you out of your spot. Because that old energy, those old connections, that old mindset is gone. The transformation has already taken place. For you to be in this energy, the transformation has already taken place, collective. It's done. It's here, And so a person can try to, they can talk their mess, try to provoke, want to be confrontational. Oh, when I see the collective, I'm going to do this and do that. That is not going to take away the collective success. It's not. It's nothing you can do about this. But what will happen is things will start to arrive in their life that they're not going to be comfortable with. So you got to be careful. This person, the collective, they're in their purpose, their divine purpose. So you got to be careful, when you're trying to intercept God's plan. God's plan, got to be careful. Yes, mindful who you collaborate with, as what we're speaking of. Mindful who you gather with. And be very mindful who you share your business with. Yeah, so there's someone who doesn't have access to you who miss competing with you, whatever that means. This could be maybe them sleeping with your spouse or your lover behind your back. I'm picking that up. Okay. Maybe they thought they were doing something, which, that doesn't hold any weight. Okay, next. People you used to date. Okay, people maybe you were once in love with. Many years have passed. Time has passed. Folks got gray hairs now. But this person could be hearing about your progress or observing you from afar. Social media allow people to observe everybody from afar. Oh, or you could have a friend in common. I always pick that energy up. You could have a friend in common, like you could know somebody that knows somebody you used to date, but you don't know that they know that person, kind of energy. And some people will reveal, oh, I used to mess with that person, and some people won't. They'll just listen and see what you gonna come tell me. What the collective doing? What they doing? What kind of energy? Okay, yeah. So, you don't have to have survivor's remorse. You don't owe anyone anything. Just like you get up and get it and apply yourself, the whole world has the same opportunity. So let no one come to you with a guilt trip story, sympathy, or use children as a gauge to try to have access to your life. If you have cut these people off and you are a parental figure, do not let anyone use your children or their children to have access to your life, because people will try to do that. A narcissist, control freak, the vindictive, manipulative people will try to do that. Do not allow anyone to utilize your children or their children to enter or gain access into your life, okay? If those ties are cut, leave them severed and leave the children out of it. And you especially want to protect your children. If these people were nothing to you, of course you don't want them hurting your offspring. You don't want them sabotaging your children, especially if they were very disdainful towards you in your upbringing for somebody. So no, no. Well, what is she saying? No, my pentacles. No, back up. No, no, we're not hearing it. Continue to stay spiritually grounded and tapped in and tuned in, and keep that warrior spirit, man. Later.